The Wrong Man is an Alfred Hitchcock film that was released in 1956, based on a true story. It stars Henry Fonda and Vera Miles. It follows the story of Manny Balistrero, played by Fonda, who is falsely accused of several robberies by some women at an insurance firm. The police basically go after him as if he is the man. He's pointed out by them. They pretty much figure that's a smoking gun. And the film is literally all about how the law and the institutions pursue him. This poor man and his family are taking the fall for something that he didn't do. I don't think there's many surprises in this film with regards to where it's going, so to speak. Like even if you don't know the story upon which it is based, which I didn't, I think given what we know about Hollywood and the way they tell stories, there's probably only one outcome that was going to happen with this. However, there are certain things the film does just to hammer home the impact that this wrongful accusation had on this man's life and his family, not least of which the depression that was caused to his wife, played by Vera Miles. You know, spoilers for those who haven't seen the film and don't wish to have anything spoiled, but in the latter half of the film, Miles's character, she starts to develop this depression. She feels the walls closing in, the noose is tightening around her family, you know, and there's nothing she can do about it, and she loses it. She ends up in an asylum. Now, the final scene of the film, when everything's come out in the wash and Balistrero has been vindicated, it's been proven that he isn't the man who held up the insurance firm, and he goes to see his wife in the institution to tell her, hey, it's over, it's done, we're good, you can go home, I'm a free man. And she's still depressed, and she doesn't talk to him, she doesn't look at him, she's gone, and he has to leave the room, and then that's when the film kind of fades out, essentially. Now, I think that's a great way to end the movie, because it shows that there are very real consequences to what has happened. It isn't just, oh, whew, thank God for that, let's all go home. No, this had a real impact. When you make false accusations about people, it can tear lives apart. The only problem is that directly after that scene, we get a little sign that comes up that says, she was better after 2 years, and they went home and lived happily ever after. And I feel like by adding that on, it somehow takes away the sting of that final scene. And it may be the truth, you know, maybe it is that she did get better after 2 years and whatnot. And there is still something, there's still something quite powerful about knowing that, oh, she went through that for 2 years. That, you know, that's still quite an effect, still quite an impact that is made on this family. But I just feel like it almost snatches some of that impact away by bringing it up straight after that scene. Beyond that, this is just a really good, low-key, true life story, you know, about something that was very real that happened, and is handled with great care by Hitchcock. He doesn't amp up the theatrics that he would with one of his typical thrillers. Everything's quite subdued. The performance by Henry Fonda is also quite subdued. It's all the inner workings. He never goes large and gets theatrical. It's all about how this man, this good man, handles himself and keeps his composure, even though everything around him is, well, put it this way, if I was in his situation, I'd be kicking and screaming. I'd be shouting from the rooftops. But this man he's a very quiet man. He's very, you know, he's got a lot of calm about him, despite the forces that are coming against him. And I think Henry Fonda is the perfect man to be cast in such a role. You know, this is the guy who brought that same kind of poise to 12 Angry Men, which you needed for a film like that, and he does very well. It just feels like something of a different kind of movie for Hitchcock, in a good way though. You know, I'd have liked to have seen him do more of this kind of stuff. It's still a thriller, but not in your usual Hitchcock sense. You know, there's no murders. We're not being asked to come into the mind of the killer and root for him in a way, which is something that Hitchcock's very good at doing. You know, this is an innocent man. We are rooting for him, as we should, because he's innocent. And it's, again, like I say, a very low-key drama. I also love that the film keeps the faith aspect. I feel like it's a part of the film that would be dropped if it was made today. You know, unless it was made by a faith-based movie company. There's an aspect about this film where, you know, his mum tells him that he needs to pray. These are Catholics. They pray the rosary, and he's not prayed for quite some time. And it's only after he prays, it's only after he surrenders his life to God, surrenders this situation to God, that things work themselves out. Which, you know, as a man of faith, I've seen that play out in my own life many times. Oftentimes, you have no control. Control is an illusion, and sometimes it's about accepting that, for me at any rate, God is in control, and when you relinquish that control over to him, that's when you start to see things happen. And I feel like that's one of the things that this film is ultimately talking about. Just because of a couple of really simple yet like a bullet to the heart scenes that play out towards the end, which I really appreciate. And again, as I say, I don't think we would see in a modern take on this film. I really liked it. Very, very solid film with great performances. But what about you? Have you seen The Wrong Man? Do you like it? I've looked at a few letterboxd reviews, and some people actually don't. They feel it's a bit too much of a sidestep for Hitchcock, although, as I say, I'd like to have seen more of this kind of film from him. But yeah, did you like it? If not, either way, let me know down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this review, and until next time, cracking.